Where are you going? There you go. Tight fit. Right there. That's gonna get it to clear right there. Don't F this up, dude.
Slowly, 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 slowly. Good job. Good. Good. This is my LS1 T56 Nissan 240. It's a little messy right now, but it makes a lot of power. Well, for a little 240. But it does some good burnouts, and I got a little bit of tread left. I got some new tires waiting, so why not just finish them off?
You ready? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna need that for the gram.
Alright.
Yeah. Focus, focus. In action.
Alright guys, welcome back. We have Mr. Cruz 2017 C7 Z06 all the way from Colorado. Just like all of our packages we do, guys, car comes in on a transport. We give it a once over, make sure there's no scratches, no dents, no nothing with the wheels that the customer doesn't know about or that he does know about. That way we cover our end, cover his end. Then we put it on the dyno for baseline numbers, which we're about to do right now. See where we start. After that, it'll go on the rack for our 850 package. I'm gonna baseline it now. This car came in already with an AFB cold air, and it looks like a Corsa exhaust. So when we're done with it, this thing's gonna be, as I say, loud as F. Predictions?
Baseline on this?
570 to 570? 590?
568.
What'd I say? You know what? I'm gonna predict. I take that back. I'm gonna say 590. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Dang it. Should have went with my initial gut.
582.
First pull 602, 575. All right, let's do back to back. I said like 580, 590.
The lid? You think the lid is making a difference?
Correct. The 17 and up make more.
Okay.
All right, let's see how bad it does when it heat soaks. Now it's gonna make 610. Yeah.
I figured so.
It's got cold air course and they actually tuned it. They didn't just bolt it on. It's got a lot more timing in it than it should.
Okay.
But I mean, it detonated really bad the first pull, but I called it 610 the second pull.
It did it again.
It pinged at the end of the pull.
Yeah, like right at the top.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah,
wild how it goes in stages. We literally do a whole bunch of C7 Z06s. They're normally 90% of them all automatic, and now we have 4 white ones in a row that are all manuals. Manual too, like I said, I'd say.
That's the only automatic.
Would you say 90%? We do.
They're all automatic.
Yeah, now we're doing 400, and that black one is a manual. Like I said, they're all manual. That's crazy. Yeah, 4 in a row.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, 600 rear wheel horsepower for a good baseline with an airbox, exhaust, and a tune. So it's right where it should be for a 17 and up Z06. So when we're done with it though, our goal is 750. I want 800 rear wheel horsepower out of this thing when we're done. So we'll see what it does.
Anthony,
What's happening, bro?
how's your Friday going?
It's fantastic.
Dude, look at that. That's dope.
It's Friday. Of course, it's payday, but it's the end of the week, and it's colorful Friday, babe. Motor will be out after a while.
So what else you got move around before it comes out?
You got to finish getting the top half of the exhaust off, all the bell housing bolts, all the wiring down the side, starter, little odds and ends, motor mount. It'll be out in a little while.
Nice and easy.
Oh yeah. Nothing but a day. I love performing surgery.
Had this for like 6 years.
All right, what's the full rundown? What's the story on this thing?
Am I starting now?
Yeah, you're on.
Are you doing it on your phone?
You're on, yeah.
Okay, guys. So you can get the whole shot of the car.
I got you.
So this is my '96 Nissan 240. I bought this like 6 years ago. I've had it for about 6 years. I really bought this with the pure intent to LS swap it. So the whole point of this whole build to me, I wanted to start racing. I had 10 grand, this is 6 years ago, okay? 10 grand today will not get you this 240, but 6 years ago, I bought this 240 as a shell for $1,500 bucks, and then I bought a whole running driving Camaro SS, an 01 Camaro SS. I pulled the motor from that Camaro, bought a swap kit, dropped it in here, and then I started racing. No, I do not drift this 240. I tried it once, I built it to drift. I did it once and I realized, you know, I like this thing way too much, and I'm gonna thrash this thing. It will not be a 240 in a year. So I decided to do like all the other types of racing I've done. I mean, not all the other types, but I've done drag, obviously. I work at a drag race shop, but I've done drag, but mostly really I've done time attack. It's set up for grip. I here. I'm just trying to pick back up into it. I just put the cage in it. I just made the cage. So, I mean, you guys don't know me. I have an engineering degree, actually. I'm a chemical engineer. So for me, I like to do things myself. I like to think about it. I built this cage. I just had the time, and I thought I'd rather do it myself than buy one. It's not even about the money. For me, I wanted to do it myself and know that I could do it and test my fabrication skills and my technical skills.
Did you have to buy a welder for it?
Yeah, I taught myself to weld, and then I bought a pipe bender, and I welded up a stand for the bender because it's a super heavy duty. This is thick wall stuff. You have to have a legit bender. So I bought the bender. I went from pictures of like an off-the-shelf cage to recreate this, but
What else you got in it?
I mean, so it's got pretty much everything. I mean, the rear end is a Q45 369 limited slip. It's got J30 axles. It's got 300ZX front brakes. It's a LS1 T56, so a 6-speed manual. It's from a later LS, so the 01 and 2000 and 02 have the LS6 intake manifold. So, I mean, it's just another like 10 horsepower. But so this makes about 350 at the wheel. About 400 at the crank, and I'm trying to soon make that another 100. I'd like to have about 500 horsepower or maybe 450 wheel.
What do you got to do that?
For these, it's really simple. I mean, just heads, cam, and in a tune, and a couple other small things, and LMR should have it at another 100 horsepower easy.
Man, you've been working on electrical on it lately. What was going on with that?
Yeah. I just decided I've redone, just throughout like the years that I've owned it, I've slowly redone all the wiring, and you can see the gauge panel in here that I made, right in there, that I had to redo all the wiring for it because it was just all janky. And so what I ended up doing was I pulled the whole front end off, and I pulled the whole body harness off. The body harness tucks into it passes through the firewall back here, so you have to pull and take the fender off and reroute the whole wiring harness. So the stock fuse box over here wasn't doing anything because I've replaced all of it by now. So I just decided I want it gone. It's ugly. So I pulled the whole body harness out, pulled out all the wires that I didn't need, cut them out, and then just really it's just the headlights and that's it. Like really just headlights and stuff. So
Yeah, it's looking a lot cleaner.
yeah, it looks a lot cleaner. And then I just had a bug with the main engine harness that I figured out. So I've been doing wiring for like 2 months straight, and I'm tired of it, and I'm glad it's done.
Well, it looks good, dude. Original paint still on here.
This is original paint. It does need a touch-up for sure. There's one quarter panel that definitely needs some paint, but the rest of it is OEM paint,
this one?
just cleaned up. It's the other side.
The other side.
I did the best I could with the spray paint can on that quarter panel, but
Dude,
you
not
can't
bad.
really tell from just pictures, you know?
Yeah. Dude, looks good. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, thanks.
Dude, are you gonna clean this up?
All right, I don't know if Dean shared it with y'all or not, but there is the new lid. You see with our logo on it. And then it's hard to see, but that is our titanium 5-inch airbox. You can definitely feel the difference. And like I said, you can definitely see the heat difference when you're out driving these things on the street. And like I said, obviously we can't see inside the supercharger, but inside the blower, I don't know if he showed you in the build just how wide open that thing is now, but unbelievable. A little 1.7 liter blower making over 800 rear wheel horsepower on pump gas. I absolutely love it. Love it, guys. Leave comments below. Let me know what y'all think about powder coating or even anodizing the lid with different designs in it. Whether, you know, let me know what you think. I hope y'all are enjoying enjoying this video up until now, which I think comes the fun part right here. I'm sorry it's been a while. I haven't taken y'all for a ride in a lot of the cars we've been building lately. We've just been so busy getting them done and getting them shipped back to our customers, as well as we've got a couple of big project cars we've been working on lately, so we've just been super busy. But I am really excited about this video that hopefully y'all are watching right now. I don't know how much of the build process we've showed you, but we are in Mr. Cruise 2017 C7 Z06, and it is very similar. I mean, it is our 850 horsepower package, but this is our, I'm gonna call it our new 850 horsepower package. A few things different. Man, we've done, geez, I think 3 of these in the last week and a half. And the main thing I want to talk about that we've added to this package, for those of you at home watching this with a Z01 Camaro, Cadillac V3, or even a new C7 Z06, if you are interested in our 850 horsepower package, I want you to get away from this video. The new port work and port design that Kong has done with these LT4 blowers has really let us up our game as far as horsepower goes. Whether you're running pump gas, E85, race gas, it doesn't matter. Again, we've done 3 in the past week and a half. Again, the new port that I'm going to discuss with you guys is now standard with our 850 package. It does cost a little bit more for us to get it done, but we include that, and we also are including an upper supercharger pulley that's a little bit different from the ones in previous past. But with the new port work, let me start with the old stuff. So our old 850 package with an automatic, roughly 700, right over 700 rural horsepower would be average. Our manuals would see, you know, 720s to 750s to maybe 760s, 770s, depending on how hard we pushed it, depending on the fuel that the car ran. Remember, almost all of our packages, we do not include methanol in them for fuel purposes. We just, I don't like meth kits on cars. Just one less thing, one more thing that can go wrong with a car that's out of state. So, with that being said, the new port design allows this 1.7 liter supercharger, which is very small, to be a little bit more efficient than what it was. Greg has opened up the blower so much that with 16, 17 pounds of boost, we are now seeing 800 rear wheel horsepower with pump gas. Mr. Cruise car, which is the one we're driving right now, just made 809 rear wheel horsepower on pump gas with roughly 16 to 17 pounds of boost. Mr. Romero's car from, this was going back to Colorado, Mr. Romero's car from California made right at 799 to the tires. It was also a manual transmission. And the other automatic we just finished up was Mr. Massey's. He's actually in Texas. The automatic made right over 750 to the tires. So we're seeing a consistent, I'm just gonna say 50 rear wheel horsepower gain with this new port design. So not only do we have the new ported blower, or I'm calling it our race port, we also added a billet lid to the factory 1.7 liter supercharger. If y'all have watched our old videos, y'all have seen I designed a billet lid for the Magnuson 2650 supercharger that we use in a lot of our 1,000 horsepower packages, which is a super killer looking lid, and it does work. Not only does it look good, it actually picks up horsepower. This lid in particular does look awesome. It's a billet lid. It does have a fin in the middle of it, so when the rotor spins, the boost comes up instead of hitting just the top flat piece of a lid. There's actually, I'm gonna call it a fin in there to direct the air to each side, goes through the brick and then into your intake runner. On the older 15 and 16 model Corvettes, I'm sure y'all see their lower profile lid from the factory. So we'll see more of a gain with that lid on an older 15 or 16 compared to taking that lid and just sticking it on a 17 or 18 that already had a taller lid from the get-go. But we do still see gains from it, so we've decided to add that as well in this package that we do. So Mr. Cruz has our 850 package, which is again our normal cam headers, lower balancer to spin the blower harder, the new race port with a new upper pulley to spin the blower even harder than before because of the new design inside the supercharger itself. And of course, these manual cars, we've been adding the MGW shifters to them, and I absolutely love these cars. The 7 speeds, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of them compared to the TR6060 transmissions. To me, they're just harder to, what I call no-lift shift them. But with the MGW shifter, it at least makes it a lot more forgiving and a lot easier to grab gears at higher RPMs. But to now be able to give you guys a product from California to New York that is emissions legal and making, I'm gonna call it 800 rear-wheel horsepower on pump gas, man, it's incredible with the factory supercharger. Now again, a lot of our customers, they want more than that, you know, and it still is a 1.7, so yes, a bigger supercharger is more efficient. So people that want more, yes, the 2650 is 100% better. You don't have to spin it as hard to make the horsepower. Obviously, keeping intake air temps down, so that is a big plus on our 1,000 horsepower package, which is the next size up from this one. But again, talking you know, dollar per horsepower to keep the factory supercharger. Obviously, instead of buying a 2650, you save, let's just call it around 10 grand just from not having to buy an aftermarket supercharger. So to be able to do that and still make, like I said, 800 rear-wheel horsepower, man, I absolutely love this package. For any of you guys out there that have an LT4 as a bone stock car, looking to add power to it, it's really hard to beat it. And you know what? We'll go ahead and make a rip real quick. This car is a 17 3LT. I think it's got the Cup 2s on it right now. Absolutely rips. And it's fun. So much fun with 3 pedals on it. And again, this one being the 3LT, it's got the carbon ceramic brakes on it, so it can stop just as good as it goes. Yeah, for an all-around package, you know, obviously in 2015 when these first came out, you know, I had my different packages and we slowly make small tweaks to them. This last group of mods that we've changed in this package, like I said, it really set the bar to that next level. And again, guys, it's just, I'm eating the cost of it, you know, for the extra port work and for everything that we're adding to it. You as just the end user are getting a product with, like I said, I'm gonna average just say 50 rear-wheel horsepower more than our old 850 horsepower package. So if we really wanted to rate this, you're talking 800 and whatever rear-wheel horsepower, that's about 920 flywheel horsepower. We're still going to call it an 850 package just because we know every car is a little bit different. And right now, like I said, we've done 3 of these in the last week and a half. And again, you'll see on the, if y'all watch our channel regularly, I think we have one being built as we speak right now from Louisiana, and another one being built again next week, which I also think is from Louisiana. So we'll be able to get good averages so y'all can see whether it's an automatic or a manual and what gas is in it and what truly they make. But I was super impressed with the new port design to see how much horsepower it makes and at the boost level it makes. So I used to not spin the blower quite as hard to try to keep intake air temps down and everything. Our old setup would be around 14 to 15 pounds of boost. Now we are making a couple more pounds of boost, so yes, obviously that will help with horsepower. but it's really needed to spin the blower just a little bit harder to take full advantage of how big the opening of the supercharger is. So I tried spinning it not as hard on the first one or two that we did, and I was like, you know what, let's just try spinning it a little bit harder, and that's where we started seeing really good gains from it. Again, all in all, it's still a car that you can hop in, drive every day. Oh, I forgot. One of the other big parts to this package that we are now including is our titanium 5-inch cold air intake, which hopefully you got to see install in this video. If not, I'll make sure we do like a walk around or under the hood when I'm finished driving this so y'all can see it. It looks just like our stainless one. It's just made out of titanium. And what that's gonna do is allow the heat, which in Houston it's 102 degrees right now. Stainless obviously gets hot, it kind of holds heat a little bit longer. Once you start driving and air goes across the mass air and everything, it cools off pretty quick. The titanium is just that much quicker. It doesn't hold the heat as long as stainless does. So again, another piece of this puzzle that yes, it costs me a little bit more money to do it, but at the end of the day, I want to provide you, my customers, with a package that I know is as superior as I can. Obviously, sorry, traffic's bad up here. I'm trying to give you the best package you can for the dollar that you're spending with me. And again, we still offer our 800 horsepower package, which is, I don't know how much cheaper than this one. And it is pretty much the exact same thing, it just does not include the ported supercharger. So it will be down a good 50, if not almost 75, you know, I want to say, yeah, almost 100 rear-wheel horsepower difference. I think we did one last week, or I'm sorry, yeah, 2 weeks ago, that made roughly 700 rear-wheel horsepower, and that was without the ported supercharger. Pretty much the same exact mods, just no porting on the supercharger. So you really can see how much porting the supercharger makes a difference. But that being said, I made that rip. It felt great. I'm gonna pull over, look at the slog. I know it's gonna be good. And I believe this car, we gotta get back, wash it, detail it. It's gonna be shipped back to Mr. Cruz. I think today it's going back to Colorado. So, as always, guys, those of you that follow my channel, I appreciate it greatly. Please leave comments below. Let me know what you guys think of the billet lid. What's your thoughts? Do you like the way it looks? Should we leave them all polished for these customers? Some customers want them anodized or powder coated. Leave your thoughts below on that. Also, what do you think about this new race port? Again, I know y'all I don't know if we showed it to y'all. Hopefully we can show y'all like a regular port versus what we're doing now to these things. And then of course the titanium cold air intake. Let me know your thoughts as always, and then if y'all are new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. We have plenty more badass cars in the works right now that you're gonna want to watch here in the future. So until next time, guys, peace.